Welcome to the Thornton Review, the show designed with you in mind. If it's important to you, it's important to us. Dr. David Williams was born and raised in Pensacola, Florida. He is the fifth son of 6 boys, born to the late Hollis T. and Laura Williams. David grew up in the Escambia County School District and graduated from Pensacola High School. He received his bachelor's degree in business science from Southern University in Baton Rouge, Louisiana, his master's degree in educational leadership, a specialist's degree in curriculum and instruction, and a doctoral degree in curriculum and assessment from the University of West Florida. Dr. David Williams retired as principal of Pensacola High School after 35 years of various educational positions in the Escambia County School District. Some of David's accomplishments include Pensacola High School Teacher of the Year, Escambia County Coach of the Year 4 times, and Escambia County Principal of the Year. David's extensive community involvement includes, but is not limited to, Board of Directors of YMCA, Escambia Children's Trust, and Florida School Board Association, University of West Florida College of Business Advisory Council, and Hollis T. Williams Park 20-year, $25 million project. David has numerous education recognitions and leadership awards from various sororities, fraternities, and a host of other organizations, too many to list. David and his wife Gail have 2 children and 3 grandchildren. Hey, I'm Pueschel, Schneier, executive producer and manager of the Thornton Review. Thank you for tuning in. On today's show, we have Dr. David Williams, Escambia County School Board District 3. So, Dr. Williams, David, it's very nice to have you on the show. Thank you for carving time out of your busy schedule to sit down and have a conversation with me. I really appreciate that. Will you please introduce yourself?
Yes, thank you for the opportunity to speak as well and to come on the show. I really appreciate that. I'm David Williams, product of Escambia County, came up through the public school system, A.A. Dixon, Brownsville Middle School, Pensacola High. I'm the 5th son of Hollis T. Williams Sr., who was first appointed and elected African American on the city council here in modern day time. And a park up under Interstate 110 is named in his honor. So I'm on the school board, spent 35 years in the school system, and I'm just thankful to be here to tell my story.
That's amazing. I love your family history. I want to hear more about it.
Mm-hmm.
I've always heard of Hollis T. Williams. I did not realize that was your father
Mm-hmm.
until recently.
Mm-hmm.
So congratulations on that
Mm-hmm.
and for carrying on the family legacy of being a pillar in the community.
Yeah, I
That's
appreciate
amazing.
that.
Yeah,
And I get the servitude from him. I saw him many years doing that in the community, and growing up as a kid, and you want to be like your dad. So this is my opportunity to carry on that legacy and be a part of what he started many years ago.
well, that's amazing. I'm happy for you.
Mm-hmm.
Love that story. So we're going to take a commercial break, and when we come back, we'll begin our discussion with Dr. David Williams, Escambia County School Board District 3.
Hello, I'm David Williams, School Board Representative for District 3, and I'm asking you to re-elect me to that position in this upcoming campaign. The reason you should vote for me is because we've made a difference over the last 4 years in District 3, where we have safer schools, then our kids are college and career ready, and also we're preparing them for life. And the initiatives that I put in place that have made a difference, because our attendance rate has went up, our graduation rate has increased as well. And also I have the experience of 35 years of working in the school system and 4 years on the school board. I ask you to vote for David Williams, School Board, District 3.
If you're watching on YouTube, hit the subscribe button right now. Be sure to like the video and hit the notification bell so you never miss a great guest. We provide this content as a public service, and it helps our channel when you like, subscribe, and hit the notification bell. You can watch us at our YouTube channel, The Thornton Review, at The Thornton Review 7810, our website, thethorntonreview.com, on Vimeo. Please follow The Thornton Review. Please like our Facebook page, The Thornton Review Show, on TV, WBQP Channel 12, and WBQP on Roku and Fire Stick. There is no government-funded program that can guide a man's thoughts. Only God can do that. Thank you for tuning in. We're going to begin our discussion with Dr. David Williams, Escambia County School Board, District 3. So, David, thanks again for coming on the show. I want to talk about your background and what brought you to become a member of the school board for Escambia County. But first off, I want to say that I remember the first time I ever met you. I was on county PTA, and it was at the PTA night. What was that first night of the year, like in September that they had?
Yeah, it's usually in September. Yeah.
And that was the first time I ever met you, and I didn't really know you or who you are, but I could tell that I was in the presence of someone who was professional, friendly, and in charge in a good way.
Yeah.
So that was good, and I always remembered you after that.
Yeah, well, I appreciate that. And my career started as a substitute teacher. I did everything in the school system. Substitute teacher, I was a bus driver, and a dropout prevention teacher, math teacher, assistant football coach, assistant basketball coach, head basketball coach, acting dean, assistant principal, and I did 35 years, and I really enjoyed it. And after I retired in 2021, I still felt like there was more to do, and I felt like the knowledge and relationships I had built in the school system, I could utilize them on the school board. So I decided to run because I grew up in District 3, lived in District 3 the majority of my life. I played on all of the playgrounds, and I lived 7 blocks from Pensacola High School. And I just love District 3, and so I felt like it was a calling for me to continue that. And I graduated, left here and went on a basketball scholarship to Southern University in Baton Rouge, Louisiana. Got my bachelor's degree. Came back home, got my master's degree from UWF in ed leadership, which allowed me to get into administration. I got my specialist degree from University of West Florida, and then recently I earned my doctorate degree in education from the University of West Florida, and I just wanted to give back to the community. I felt like I had a lot to offer. I love the public school system and what it produces, and so that's my why. It's just my calling.
So how long were you the principal at Pensacola High School?
I was a principal from Pensacola High School for 13 years. I was assistant principal for 4 years, and 17 of those years I was in the classroom. So. I was principal there, and we did some great things there. Every year we have the IB program there, so we have some outstanding students. We've always led in the amount of scholarships that was given to our graduates. We've been ranked as high as 11th in the state and in the top 100 high schools in America. We did some great things. We improved the graduation rate of all students from like 68% to 90-something%. Improved the graduation rate for African Americans, which was one of our subgroups that we wanted to serve, from like 53% to 88%. And so we just did some great things, and had some great people to work with, great teachers, and I just love the public school system, and that's why I do what I do. It's my calling.
So during your time at Pensacola High School, what would be like the best thing or your proudest achievement?
Well, and it's strange to say that. I don't know if this is one thing, but when you see students that come back and they're successful, and you prepared them to have a better life and to take care of their family, take care of themselves. You felt like, you know, you did what you're supposed to have done. So I think I get gratitude from just the relationships that I've built with those students, and they still remember me. They come back and they either call me Coach Williams or Principal Williams. That evidently I had an impact, and hopefully I made a difference in their life. So I think that's the biggest thing, that reward I can get, is that these students are productive citizens. They're leaders in the community, and they have careers that they can sustain themselves and their family with.
Well, that's good. You know, that's probably what every educator should achieve for, and it sounds like you made a great impact on a lot of people. What would be one of the issues, like what would have been a bad or negative issue that you turned around? Like maybe discipline or something?
Public education in general is, I don't like saying it like this, but it seems like it's under attack. We have challenges. And one of the things I always try to do is to build our perception of that we are the best choice to educate children in our county. And I'm all for parents having options, they private school or homeschool or whatever they want to do. But the challenges that we have in education is that, you know, the funding is a challenge. We're getting less funding for the basic student allocation now than we did before, so we've lobbied the legislature to try to increase that funding for basic student allocation to where we can continue to give our services to the students throughout the Escambia County and not lose any of those services that we've been giving them in the past. So we've just got to present the case that we're a good choice, that we're still putting out a great product that is safe to send your child to the public school system, that we're closing the achievement gap, and that we have them college and career ready when they leave us.
Yeah, I think the number one priority for every parent is that their children are safe in school. Absolutely. I know that was the case for me when my son was going to school.
Yeah. And we've did some things to make sure that safety. There's a term that we've used since what happened in Marjorie Stone Douglas in South Florida, the hardening of schools, that there's one entrance in, one entrance out. We have several cameras on campus, and every teacher and every employee has what we call a Syntex button that they have on their lanyard.
Okay.
And if they press it 3 times, you will get services from the police department, fire department, with an identification of where that event is happening. So we have really did a really good job of making sure our campuses are safe by the one entrance, and also the Certex Central Text button that every employee has.
Okay, when did that come about?
That came about probably about 4 or 5 years ago.
Okay, I haven't heard about it.
But if you notice, if you ever see a teacher with their lanyard and their ID badge, on the back of it is the emergency button that they can hit it right away. They had to hit it. They've been trained. Hit it like 3 times, and you'll get the fire department, police department, and all kind of help that you would need, and it can locate you wherever it's at on that campus.
Okay. Have teachers been hitting it? Have they hit
no,
it in the last 4 years? Okay, good.
Thank goodness we haven't had any. No. But also, you know, we're trained in things like active shooters, lockdown situations. So we take the safety of the students as paramount in Escambia County.
I appreciate that. So as far as your community involvement, which is quite extensive, you've been the board member of numerous boards and organizations, and you're just all over the place. Can you tell us, like, what would be your favorite board that you ever...
There's several. One that I really love, and I'll say this because I grew up there. My father worked at the YMCA for 50 years, and I grew up at the YMCA. So I'm on the board of directors for the YMCA, and just because I grew up at the Y, learned how to swim, learned how to play basketball there, and met quite a few people in the community, that's probably one of my favorite boards. And also, I like what they're doing in after-school program. One of the initiatives that I've been able to help by being on the board with the YMCA is the Y Read program. Y Read program is a literary program that helps kids in after-school tutoring, where they can advance their reading levels to a full another level within a short amount of time. So Y Read program. Also, I'm on the Children Trust board. And I'm really excited about that because we've been able to partner with so many entities in Escambia County where we've been able to put an initiative in several of our schools. It's called a Whole School, Whole Community, Whole Child Initiative. It's where that these services that parents and students might not have been able to get on their own, you get them now at the school. Eye care, dental care, vision care, mental health, mentorship, and then nutrition. And there's about 9 entities within Escambia County that's located on that campus and providing these services to these students. And so that's another board that I'm really excited about being a part of, because also the out of school programs that are presented through the Children's Trust kind of centrally is located in District 3, which is my district, which 38% of our students live in poverty. So there's a lot of wraparound services that we've been able to provide to students after school. And that's very important that we address the whole student, not only while they're at school the 6 and 7 hours, but when they leave us. Do they have food? Do they have clothing? Do they have shelter? And do they have the mental support that they need? We know that mental services now is very important, and kids feeling good about themselves and going to school is very important as much as teaching them how to read and write. And so those are a couple. And the last one I mentioned is the Omega Lamplighters. I'm on the board of directors for Omega Lamplighters. They are a mentoring program in the city of Pensacola, where they mentor young men. Majority of them are African American young men, and they bring them up all the way from elementary to middle school to high school, and they'll teach them this mentorship and how to be a leader, and how to study, how to dress, how to talk, how to do things in life, and get a plan for their life. So those are just a couple that I'm part of. And my wife said I got to cut back and I got to get off the influence. But I just love what I'm doing, and I love being able to bring the community to interconnect with education.
Well, the community is happy to have you, and is lucky to have you, and blessed to have somebody like you who grew up here and who knows the community like the back of your hand. You know a lot of people, and you know what's best for families and for students. So I'm happy to have you. What would be something, well, plus early intervention on these children and mentorship, that's very important to get them early on so that they have that grounding, that background. So as far as you being on the school board, what was that spark? Had you already been thinking about, well, once I retire, I might run for school board, or did you retire and then you're like, well, something happened that you want to do?
I was in the drop program. When you're an administrator, you have to go in, and when I was there, you have to go in at a certain time of age and also years of service, or you lose out on some financial benefits of that. So I knew there was still some gas left in the tank, that I really wasn't ready to go home and just
retire.
And I thought about it, and I said, how can I continue to serve? And I looked at possibly running for school board then. So I thought about it even before I retired, and just researched it and looked at it, and prayed about it, and wanted to do what was my calling. And this is all I know. I've been doing it all my life, and so I wanted to continue to do that. And I felt like I had some experiences that would be beneficial to other people, and people in the community, that those experiences I want to share, and hopefully foster and mentor the next David Williams to come through, and also to give back, because I saw it in my father, and it just seemed like second nature for me to do it as well.
Right. It just seems like somebody with your background and experience. You grew up in Escambia County. You went to Escambia County schools. Your entire career was at Escambia County schools. You retired as principal after what you said, 17 years.
17.
So it just only seems fitting that you would be on the school board, because you seem to have the credentials, and you know how the school board is run. You know how the district is run. So what are the main issues for you on your campaign? You've won one election, right? Okay, so you're up for election again. What are your issues? What is your campaign platform?
Yeah, some initiatives that I've said, and hit on some of them. The initiatives that I've been able to put in place. One of the initiatives that I put in place is called the Karen McIntosh Initiative. Is I put it at a couple of schools in my district. Montclair, CAYs was a couple of them, and where we are addressing teaching kids on an early age and early level conflict resolution, how to deal with conflicts. Because one of the things we want to change is the discipline, and people to expect kids to have a certain amount of decorum and respect. And just sometimes kids have not been taught how to handle conflict, and so it comes out a different way, especially if you don't understand the culture, sometimes that culture where that kid comes from. So what my platform is built on is, education, working with the community, understanding the cultures, and also working with the commerce that is in town. Because I want to have the holistic view of how I can prepare this kid for future. And I think when we bring those three entities together, those four entities together, we're able to prepare those kids and then propel them into what they need to do. But I don't want them to eliminate themselves before they get there, because sometimes kids don't handle situations well. And there's so much going on in some of these kids' lives that, like I said, in District 3 alone, 38% of our students live in poverty. And those kids, education may not be a priority for some of them kids right now. They're looking at where I'm going to stay, what I'm going to eat, and do I have clothes and those type of things. And then also the emotional strain is on those kids. So I want to make sure every kid have an opportunity. Then also those kids who have an affluent background, that they're still being challenged as well, that they're being pushed to be the best that they can be. So we've got to look at all students and hopefully supply the needs for all students, wherever it might be.
And as far as like discipline, if there's tension or fighting or whatever, it would be good, to train children how to de-escalate, their feelings and their emotions, because when kids get into fights, it's because they're at an emotional high, and maybe after the fight they might be like, "Oh my gosh, why did I do that?"
Why did I do that? Yeah. And that's where the conflict resolution come in. And how do you handle
and
disagreement
and de-escalate it,
and how you not allow the situation to blow up into something that's bigger than what it is, and then also for them to be focused on the academics, because we know that in our state we have a attendance problem, so we're addressing legislative concerning the attendance problem, and then also with the funding allocation, and also the family empowerment scholarships that parents are able to take their children if they want to homeschool. But what hurts us, and then you spoke about issues, and what has been really detrimental to us is that the state of Florida has not done a good job of tracking those scholarships.
Right, I heard about that. Yeah,
we had this past year we had 335 students that used the scholarship,
vouchers,
but then they came back to us, but the money didn't come back to us. And so, and like I said, I'm all for parents having choice and doing what they want to do. But
I have a question about that. Would the private schools that the parents bought those vouchers for, couldn't they? Don't they have the names of the students and families that have those vouchers?
Yeah, I would think they would, but
that should be easy to figure out.
Yeah, Don Gates has put before the legislature to try to fix that, but it didn't pass. I think it passed the Senate, but it didn't pass the House.
Right.
And so it died. But statewide, I believe these are the numbers, statewide, $270 million was lost. That's really kind of unaccounted for vouchers. Hit right here in Escambia County, I think it was like $3 million this past year.
Yeah.
And then last year it was maybe 2.8 million, and the year before that it might have been $3 million. So we're looking at almost $10 million that we're not getting.
So that money has gone to private schools and to parents who do the homeschool. Yeah, well, so those parents are not being very honest.
Well, I think the state of Florida can do a better job of tracking. So I think there's some legislatures that are really trying to get a hold of that. Like I said, Senator Gates is one of those that's led the fight on that.
And then the private schools, they should be able to clearly see who is enrolled there. Because they should have a list of the vouchers,
I
the
would
names
think,
of
I would think.
the vouchers, and the names of the students enrolled in the school. And if these voucher kids are not at this school, it should be plain as day that they're not there, and so that money needs to go back.
I wish I had the answer. I don't have the answer to that. I just know that last year we had 335 kids that were sitting in our classroom that had used the vouchers.
Well, that's my tax dollars.
Yes.
You know, and so that's going to waste, fraud, and abuse. And that's one thing that we want to eliminate, especially since property taxes were just raised. If we didn't have waste, fraud, and abuse, and I know $3 million in Escambia County it sounds like a lot, but maybe it doesn't sound like a lot, but that's one example. So if there are 20 or 100 examples of waste, fraud, and abuse going on, it does add up. And I'm not saying just in the school district, in the school system. It's Board of County Commissioners, it's City Council, it's ECUA. That's ratepayers at ECUA, not tax. But anything where our tax dollars go, if there's waste, fraud, and abuse going on, we taxpayers want to get to the bottom of it and eliminate it. And I'm not saying I want to expose somebody who's doing fraud. I don't want to point anybody out. I just want to eliminate what's going on and put it back in the coffers and lower our property tax. There's no reason it should be going up, because I feel like the only reason our property tax is going up is to cover this waste, fraud, and abuse that's going on.
You might be very right, but it also affects programs that we possibly can offer students, and people don't realize that the basic student allocation and the FTE that we get, it goes for transportation, food service, security, books, and everything, and everything that costs to run a school. So when we're not getting that funding, we're going to be faced with some very difficult choices here in the future if it doesn't change. Our other two counties all over have already explored closing schools. We don't want to close schools.
I don't want you to close schools.
We don't want to close, and I don't want to close schools. But it's going to come to a point where we're not going to have very many options if we don't get the funding to turn around.
There could be reform in various areas. It sounds like you have a very good understanding of how it should be run and the programs that should be offered and how these programs should be run. The question is, are the people who are actually running them doing what they're supposed to do? Are the parents doing what they're supposed to do? Is the state doing what it's supposed to do? So we're going to take a commercial break. And when we come back, we'll continue our discussion with Dr. Williams, Escambia County School Board District 3.
Hello, I'm David Williams, School Board Representative for District 3, and I'm asking you to re-elect me to that position in this upcoming campaign. The reason you should vote for me is because we've made a difference over the last 4 years in District 3, where we have safer schools, then our kids are college and career ready, and also we're preparing them for life. And the initiatives that I put in place that have made a difference, because our attendance rate has went up, our graduation rate has increased as well. And also I have the experience of 35 years of working in the school system and 4 years on the school board. I ask you to vote for David Williams, School Board, District 3.
If you're watching on YouTube, hit the subscribe button right now. Be sure to like the video and hit the notification bell so you never miss a great guest. We provide this content as a public service, and it helps our channel when you like, subscribe, and hit the notification bell. You can watch us at our YouTube channel, The Thornton Review, at The Thornton Review 7810, our website, thethorntonreview.com. On Vimeo, please follow The Thornton Review. Please like our Facebook page, The Thornton Review Show, on TV, WBQP Channel 12, and WBQP on Roku and Fire Stick. Company can install any type of fence. When you call and mention the Thornton Review, you'll receive a $100 discount on your fence. They also offer military discounts. Vinyl fence, wood fence, aluminum fence, chain link fence. If it has the word fence, Alpha Fence Company can do it. 850-586-8020. 850-586-8020. Thank you for tuning in. We're going to continue our discussion with Dr. David Williams, Escambia County School Board District 3. So thanks again for coming here. I like hearing about your platform and the programs. It sounds like you have a good grasp on what you feel needs to be done in the school district. So what are some of your future goals for District 3?
I'm glad you asked that. We're going to try to combat the loss of students by adding 6th and 7th and 8th grade to elementary schools. We may be at a point where the proximity of elementary school and middle school being close together, that we might be able to combine those into a K-8. Already we've added, I can't remember the listing, but already we've added, given parents options. If they really like the elementary school, if the kid wanted to stay for the 6th grade, that they're able to stay there for 6th grade, and then next year we can add the 7th and maybe the 8th grade as well. So that's one initiative. Other initiative is that, we want to continue to create more career academies with AI awareness, because AI is coming. We've got to get a hold of that. One of the things that I was presented with at a conference in Tampa was that sometimes AI is so good it's hard to tell, did the student do the work or did AI do the work? And so we've got to come up with mechanisms that an education system where we know that the student is doing the actual work. Also, this is going to take community involvement with this, but I've been out in the community, and middle school football is something that people really are interested in having. But if we offer something for middle school football, which is predominantly a boy sport, we got to offer something for the girls. So we're looking at middle school softball, middle school flag football for girls as well. So I think that would be something good. Another initiative in the future I would love for us to do is get a hold of the cell phone usage in schools. Some states have already banned or restricted the use. We have a restriction, but it's not as stringent as some of the states, because the research has shown that cell phones is really a distraction to the academic progress of students. So we're going to address the cell phone policy. And also, being a graduate of University of West Florida, I've been working with them as well. I'm on a couple of boards out there as well. Is that we want to develop a cohort, and they have already started as a cohort for teachers and administrators that want to go back and get their doctorate degree. So those are things I would really like to do in the future. Hopefully fortunate enough to be reelected in this position, and we can put forth those initiatives, and then also we'll continue to want to foster a relationship between law enforcement and our students. We feel like there is somewhat of a disconnect there with students and law enforcement. We want them to see law enforcement as
here to protect and serve.
Yeah, protect and serve.
And
not as something
not the
that's
enemy.
Not the enemy.
Yeah.
And so I think when we teach the conflict resolution, that we can build that relationship as well. Because growing up, you should feel like, if I'm in trouble, I can go to a law enforcement officer and get help, and not think that.
I think a lot of kids learn that from their parents. And it does start at home. Education starts at home. It starts with the family structure. Are the children on a schedule? Do they have someone to help them with their homework? Do they have someone there to, when they get off the bus, or to pick them up? Are they eating dinner at a certain time with the family? Are they going to bed at a certain time? Or are they moving all the time, to different place? Is the family structure okay? And so that early intervention is very, very, very important. Especially with children who don't have that family structure, have that support at home.
And it's interesting you say that, because my dissertation was on something that was similar to that. My dissertation was on a phenomenological case study, African American 10th grade males' perception of education. And what I've learned in my research is that every student, every human being has an ecological system. And there's different phases in each one of those systems that affect how their perception of education. And so when you go through these different phases of life and education is not one of the top priority, then when you get older in life, it's still not a top priority. So that's why I'm an advocate for early intervention, teaching kids early, providing the services that they may not be getting, remove the barriers that stop them from being successful. Because if you're hungry, it's hard to teach a kid to say you need to do your homework and they're hungry. And they're
or if you're tired because you stayed up all night watching movies. And
there's so many things that are influencing students today, and that's something we've got to combat as well. That it's so easy for them to get so much information. I'm a teacher at heart, and I believe every student has a natural progression of learning. Now, I believe everybody can make an A, but my A might take me 45 minutes, where your A might have took 15. But it's still an A at the end of the day. And so everybody has a natural progression. And so therefore, when we teach kids, we've got to make sure that we're mindful that there are different ways that people learn, kids learn, but everybody can be successful. We just as educators got to figure out a way to make them successful, help them be successful. So that's why I look at the holistic kid. I look at the holistic problem. We have them 6 or 7 hours a day. That's not enough.
Right.
Because of how the world is today, we've got to make sure that when they're leaving us, the kids that do not have those resources you talked about, that somehow we intervene and we provide those resources.
Well, it's interesting that you say like each child learns at a different pace or at a different level, but it seems like in the classroom, everybody is taught on the same level.
Yeah.
And some kids make A's, some kids make B's, some make the grading system. So like there are different academies that do kind of specialize in catering to to each individual child. And I don't know if Escambia County School District is really
equipped. You say that because the interest level of kids, and that's another thing that I want to incorporate as well. Right now we have 69 industry certifications that are in Escambia County. That ranges everything from culinary arts to media service to starting your own daycare center, computers, science, cybersecurity. We offer those academies, and therefore we and also we have the military. We have the ROTC. So we're trying to provide things for kids where they're interested. Everybody's not going to go to college, but everybody can be successful. Everybody's not going to go in the military. And some of our kids are earning these industry certifications that after they graduate, they can start their own daycare, or they can go right into cybersecurity and go to Georgetown. And so every kid does learn different. The individual educational plans for every kid. But that's being an educator, that you have to see that and know how to reach those kids, and not necessarily always teach them to the middle, because even if you teach to the middle, you're not going to reach everyone.
Right.
So that's part of being an educator, that you've got to evaluate your pedagogy skills and how you teach kids, and make sure that they're getting it and that they're being successful.
And I guess, do you still have the PATS program in Escambia County?
The PATS program, yes,
for the higher.
It used to be at, I forgot what's good, NB Cook. It could be, I could be mistaken, but we did have. But they identified those kids early in life and early in their career, and they made sure they were on a path of educational excellence.
Can you explain the Escambia County report card? I almost said credit card, but the Escambia County School, like the report card grading.
Well, it's we've just recently, in the last few years, we've incorporated the grade point average in middle school, because in high school we've always had the 1.0 to 4.0, 4.0 being an A, and then also in the high school level we have the AP classes, advanced placement classes, which adds honors points to their grade point average. So sometimes when you go to graduations and a kid, they come across the stage and they have a 5.15 grade point average, you probably say, well, why is that possible?
Yeah. Because
4.0 is an A. But that's all the dual enrollment, advanced placement, the IB, international baccalaureate and honor classes that kids are taking. And so now I really like that because we tie that in with athletics as well, because statewide kids have to maintain a 2.0 to be eligible. So kids understand grade point averages, and that they got to maintain a certain grade point average to graduate, along with the intercourse exams and also the statewide exams that they have to pass to receive a diploma in several different areas. There's about 10 areas. I've been out in a while, but we get our school grade on about 10 areas. And then a couple of those areas is how are we doing with the lower quartile in English? How are we doing with the lower quartile in math? And then also the accelerated points. You get points for accelerated degrees, not degrees, but courses that kids are taking AP and IB. So all of that makes up the school grade and the county grade. And I'm proud to say that in Escambia County, we've been ranked a B school district for the last 2 years. And also that we don't have any failing schools. We have 14 A's, 13 B's, and 26 C schools. Whereas a few years ago, that wasn't the case, where we did have some failing schools. I think because of the leadership, the school board, all of us working together, and also the superintendent Leonard, who's doing a marvelous job. We're moving in the right direction, but we've got to counteract losing students, because we're just losing them for the last 5 years. And so we're really excited about that. Our graduation rate has increased, I believe, to 89.5%. Our attendance rate is up 91.3, I think, percent. So we're addressing those issues, and grade point, all of that affects grade point average. All of that affects the academic progress of kids, and so that's where we're at.
When you say you're losing students, is that statistically based on the population, or are you actually losing numbers of students?
When you compare year to year, I remember and I did this when I was principal at Pueschel High School, because I knew that my budget was based on the number of students, and we have like 3 or 4 surveys during the year that helps the county and the state project what your possible population would be next year. And so they project that, and that's your budget. And so therefore, when we might have 1,500 students this year, but next year you're projected to have 1,400. And that's because of the surveys that they're taking. And kids, they just move. Sometimes kids move out of state. But the choices, I think, that I have, when I say losing, there might be other choices that parents are taking.
Right, with the vouchers,
the private school, the charter school.
Yeah.
So we have competition.
Okay.
And I think that's where we're losing most kids. Now, you have the I say normal, it's not really normal, kids who just drop out. We do a follow-up on those kids and try to figure out where they're at. But that's not that's something that's been happening for centuries.
Sure, yeah.
But now it's the competition that I think that we are up against, where we're losing kids.
Right.
And so therefore we're fighting for those dollars.
Right.
And trying to hold on to them.
Right. Well, it sounds like some of that competition is not really real, based on the 300. How many kids?
335 students.
Yeah, 335. So are those students in the Escambia County School
last year,
system?
according to Superintendent Leonard,
but
they
they're
were
not
kids that used a voucher, but ended up back in our school system, and it's almost like paying for them double, because we didn't account for them at the beginning of the school year.
Right.
But somehow they ended up back in our schools, and now we're feeding them, we're transporting them, we're providing books for them.
Yeah.
And
the parents know that they applied for a voucher, and they should know that either the school got the voucher or that they received the money themselves. So
$9,100.
Yeah.
Is how much that parents can get for
well, something, I wish I knew that when my son was in school. No, but he did go to, Florida virtual school, like during COVID, and then the last semester.
And that's another thing. And I think COVID was another area, because after COVID, some parents kind of like that option.
Yeah.
Kids being on virtual at home, they knew where they at. And so, and I think that's the biggest thing that we're fighting now, that we just have competition. And we got to put forth that we're the best brand for educating kids.
So what are your goals? What are some of your future initiatives and goals?
I just want to continue to to improve our district to where we're like I say, the best choice, that we are prepared for the future. We're preparing the kids for the future, that we're offering things that are interesting to them. I want the public to know that we are hearing them and that we're listening to them, that they can call us. I think all of my board members, all of us are accessible, that we'll call you back. You call us or you email us, we'll call you back with your concerns. And people don't realize this, that we really don't interfere with the day-to-day operations. We're about a policy and
budget.
And budget people. But if they call us, we will address their issues and help them. And I was like that as an administrator, that we had an open door. I wanted to help. If you had a problem, give me a call. If I can't help you, I'll try to direct you.
At least point you in the right direction.
Yes. And so I just want to increase our brand, that I want us to continue to be that B school district. Hopefully we get someday to be an A school district. I want to continue to do that. I want to continue to close the achievement gap for all kids. I want parents to continue to know that their kids are safe when they come to our school, and that we also have them college and career ready when they leave us.
So during your first term on the school board, what has been your most important or your most favorite accomplishment?
Oh, that's a good one. I think the initiatives that we put in place that have been effective, that we've been able to help, even though, like I said, we don't necessarily interfere with the day-to-day operations, but we can assist and we can supplement and we can help direct resources. I think with my being on so many different boards, I think I've been able to bring in other resources outside of the school system that has really helped, such as the whole school, whole child, whole community model that we've had, the Carol McIntosh initiative, the Y Read program, and all that's because I was on a board and they wanted to get involved with the education system, and they was able to direct those resources into the most needed areas, because there are some community revitalization areas in District 3 that we want to make sure that those kids are getting those services. So I think I'm most proud of that we're able to just serve our community and close that achievement gap and feel like we're part of the community. Because sometimes when I grew up, schools was like, they were an important part of the community. I mean, I went to A.A. Dixon, which was right up the street from my house, and it seemed like my life revolved around what was going on at A.A. Dixon. Same thing when I went to Brownsville and when I went to Pensacola High School. And we are living in a time now where neighborhood schools are not that influential, that things that are happening in the world are influencing what we're doing on the school campus. And years ago, it was all the way around, that the school influenced the community. And so we've got to just, the times have changed. We've got to adjust and do what's best for our students.
So how have the times changed? Like when you were in school, it was reading, writing, math. It wasn't so much social issues. It wasn't what's going on out in the world. It was the curriculum. And of course you had family, and there were probably everybody who you knew probably went to church. You know, your dad was your dad a pastor?
He was. Okay. He was. Yes, he was.
Of what church?
It was Mount Lily Baptist Church. I grew up in Emmanuel Baptist Church, and Lou and May and I came out of the same church. I don't know if you know Derek Brooks. Derek Brooks, who played for the Tampa Bay Buccaneers, came out of that church.
Okay.
I mean, yeah, so we all grew up in the same little church, but my father was a pastor of Mount Lily Baptist Church before he passed. So yeah, and you're right. Times have changed, and I think what.
Well, with the curriculum and with school
it was
itself.
a lot simpler then. I'll tell you, it was a lot simpler then.
Right.
I remember in high school, I might have had 6 classes.
Yeah.
Everybody took physical education.
Yeah.
Right now, the electives are kind of not as strong, and when I say strong, that they're not offered as much, such as art, music, and those things. And physical education is not as required like it was when we came through. So those things have changed. That almost kids have to be on a certain track now to be able to get those extracurricular electives. That's what
Right.
the search the word I was looking for was those electives,
Mm-hmm.
because the requirements is on testing so much now. It's requirement is on the progress monitoring that students, and so the times have changed. When, and I'll say this for kids, the information that they can get their hands on is just so
it's
massive now.
Yeah.
It's so massive
Mm-hmm.
that they can pick up a phone and get the information like that. Where we had to go to the Dewey Decimal Catalog.
I know, yeah, the Dewey Decimal System at the public library, or we would go to PJC library or
and it took us all year to write a term paper sometimes.
Yeah. Well, you would write the list of the books that you needed,
mm-hmm.
and then you'd have to go upstairs, find the book, mm-hmm. and then it wasn't there. Yeah. Well, most of the time, like the one main book that you needed was already checked out.
Yeah.
So.
Yeah. I remember doing that, and can you imagine kids today? They just can get the phone and they can get all the information they need. So that's what we combat in public education, that so much information is coming to these kids so fast, and they can get it so rapidly. Mm-hmm. That's one reason that I think that we need to get control of the cell phones in the schools, because it is a distraction. It's a distraction, yeah. And I tell people, I say every school has probably 60 phones. If something happens to your kid, there's going to be somebody that's close enough to a phone to be able to call you and say, hey, this is what's going on. Mm-hmm. And because, like I said, I don't know when Florida would do it, but there's other states that have already banned using the cell phones in the school system. Yeah. Mm-hmm. So.
Well, as far as for personal use, I can see it.
Yes,
but if they have it turned off in their backpack or in their locker, that's one thing,
that's right.
You know. But
but be using it during class time,
no,
it shouldn't.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, and right now that's our policy. They can use it in between class. They can use it before school, after school, and at lunch. Mm-hmm. And you would think that would be enough sometimes, but sometimes it's not, because it can become addictive to those young people. They really love their electronic devices.
Yeah. Are they being social on it? Are they communicating with each other? What are they doing?
I think it's just accumulation of things. They use it for a lot of things. They love taking pictures and selfies, and
okay.
Yeah, so they're being social with it.
Yeah, of course. Mm-hmm. So, what are the pressing issues going forward?
Let's see. The pressing issues, I've already mentioned that I think the pressing issues is the money that we need to try to get back from the state, and that the basic student allocation. There's some things as far as we can do different, especially in our vocational area. You know, we have some kids that's on vocational tracks, but what holds them up is maybe passing their required English and maths on their statewide tests. Somehow we can incorporate that into their educational plan, to where these kids who want to go and get the industry certification, that they're not held up by maybe an English or math score, that we can help them to go on and go into the workforce and those type of things. But I think the big pressing issue is just the money allocation, because we can't keep getting the same amount of money that we got last year when the prices of everything else is going up. Mm-hmm. Like I said before, that whatever money we get per kid, it goes toward transportation and food and all of that. And we don't want to lose any programs.
Books.
And books. We don't want to lose any programs, because our basic student education has not increased.
And does that money also go to just the utilities and the running of the school?
That is part of it, but that is probably more in the capital outlay part of the school budget. Mm-hmm. And they take care of maintaining the schools and facilities. Mm-hmm. But as far as what directly goes to the students is what directly impacts them.
Okay. Mm-hmm. And that would be books, lunches, transportation. Okay. Mm-hmm. Yeah, that's a big.
Yeah, there's several different. As you probably know, there's several different categories.
Mm-hmm. Sure.
Of that. Another pressing issue that I wish we could do is to fully fund VPK. That we can have VPK for all of it, because it's been research that's been done that kids who do not attend VPK, they come in somewhat behind other students who are involved with VPK programs. So I would love to see all of our elementary schools having a VPK program funded.
That would be great. So, what makes you the best candidate for District 3?
Oh man, I believe I'm the best candidate for District 3 because I am District 3. I grew up in District 3. This has been my call, and this is not something that I've just decided to do all of a sudden. It's been my calling for life, and I enjoy doing it. I've felt like I've made an impact on student lives. I mean, thousands of students. I was thinking the other day, maybe it's hundreds. I said, no, it's probably in the thousands
Yeah.
because I was a coach, I was a teacher, I was assistant principal, and I was a principal.
Mhm.
And like I said before, I felt like I've been pretty good at it, not by my own merit, but by what other people have said. I've been teacher of the year. I've been principal of the year. I was voted coach of the year 4 times. And I've been recognized as doing a good job. And I feel like I have made an impact on student lives. And this is my calling. This is what I do. And I've perfected my profession as best as I can, get as much knowledge as I can, keep trying to learn myself. And that's why I went after my doctorate degree, because I wanted to be prepared to be the best I possibly could be for District 3 in the Escambia County School System.
I appreciate that. I think you are the best pick for the job.
Okay.
So, congratulations on your first term, and I'm looking forward to your second term.
Thank you.
Do you have any closing statements?
No, other than that, just vote for David Williams for re-election. Visit my website, davidwilliams3.com, and you can see a little bit more about me on my website.
Well, thank you for that. I really appreciate the conversation. I would like to spend more time with you, talking with you about other issues. We don't have enough time for that. So, but maybe next time, maybe when you're reelected. The Thornton Review is on the air to provide public service awareness and intellectual infrastructure to our community. This show is made possible by Larry Downs Jr. Plumbing, Ida Gates, Godly Teas LLC, Alpha Fence Company, and our guest, Dr. David Williams, Escambia County School Board, District 3. And we want to thank you for watching this episode of the Thornton Review. Bye-bye.
Hello, I'm David Williams, School Board Representative for District 3. And I'm asking you to re-elect me to that position in this upcoming election. The reason you should vote me is because of my experience and the difference I've made in District 3 since I've been on the school board, where we have safer schools and our kids are college and career ready, and also we've closed the achievement gap. So vote for David Williams, School Board, District 3, and visit my webpage at davidwilliams3.com.